Who was Jack the Ripper? The unsolved murders revealed. Have you ever wandered through a city at night, where the fog curls around lamplights and every alley seems to whisper secrets? I remember walking through London once, the cobblestones slick beneath my feet, and feeling the weight of history in the air. As I passed a narrow street, I thought about the lives that had unfolded there, some bright, some tragic, and one shadowy figure who left a mark so dark it still chills us today. His name, or rather, his alias, was Jack the Ripper, a faceless killer who stalked the streets of Victorian London in 1888, leaving a trail of terror and blood. His crimes, brutal and unsolved, have become one of history's most enduring true crime mysteries, a riddle that haunts London history with questions that echo through time. Who was he? Why did he kill? And why has his identity eluded us for over a century? Today, we'll step into the gaslit alleys of Whitechapel, trace the Ripper's deadly path, and chase the shadows of this unsolved murder case, unraveling a historical mystery that lingers like fog over the Thames. Let's begin in the autumn of 1888, in the heart of London's East End, a sprawling, gritty district where poverty and desperation cast long shadows. Whitechapel is a maze of narrow alleys, overcrowded tenements, and smoky pubs, its streets alive with the cries of street vendors, the clatter of horse-drawn carts, and the laughter of children playing in the muck. Victorian London is the capital of an empire, its wealth glittering in the West End. But here, in the East, life is harsh. Immigrants, laborers, and the destitute scrape by, many turning to gin or crime to survive. Women, especially, face grim choices, with prostitution a common trade for those without means. Amid the squalor, a killer emerges, targeting these women with a savagery that shocks even a city hardened to violence. Between August and November, at least 5 women, Marion Nichols, Annie Chapman, Elizabeth Stride, Catherine Eddowes, and Mary Jane Kelly, are murdered, their bodies mutilated in a series of attacks attributed to Jack the Ripper. The killings, dubbed the Whitechapel murders, ignite panic, with newspapers screaming headlines and police scrambling for clues. Jack the Ripper, a name coined in a taunting letter sent to the press, becomes a phantom, a true crime legend whose unsolved murders define a dark chapter in London history. Whitechapel in 1888 was a world apart from London's grandeur, a microcosm of Victorian inequality. The Industrial Revolution had swelled the city's population, packing the East End with Irish, Jewish, and rural migrants seeking work. Factories and docks offered grueling jobs, but wages barely covered rent in slum tenements, where families shared single rooms. Disease, cholera, tuberculosis ran rampant, and life expectancy hovered around 40. For women like the Ripper's victims, survival often meant selling themselves for pennies, a trade that thrived in Whitechapel's alleys. Marion Nichols, 43, was a mother fallen on hard times. Annie Chapman, 47, battled illness. Elizabeth Stride, 44, and Catherine Eddowes, 46, were known to police. Mary Jane Kelly, 25, was younger, her beauty noted by neighbors. These women, known as the Canonical Five, were not faceless victims but individuals, their lives woven into the fabric of London history. Their murders, brutal and public, exposed the city's underbelly, making Jack the Ripper a historical mystery that reflects the era's social divides, a true crime saga that resonates with the lost voices of ancient Egypt's forgotten souls. Let's imagine a barmaid named Eliza, a fictional resident of Whitechapel in 1888, to bring this world to life. Eliza works at the 10 Bells pub, pouring ale for dockers and seamstresses. She knows Polly Nichols, who stops for a gin before her rounds, her laughter warm despite her weary eyes. Eliza hears of Annie Chapman's cough, sees Liz Stride's quick smile, and shares a joke with Kate Eddowes at market. Mary Kelly, young and vibrant, sings Irish ballads in the pub, dreaming of a better life. When Polly's body is found on August 31st, Eliza's heart sinks. As more murders follow, fear grips her street. She locks her door, avoids alleys, and whispers prayers for her friends. After Mary's death, Eliza joins a vigil, her candle flickering in the fog, vowing to remember them. Eliza's story, though imagined, humanizes the Ripper's victims, weaving them into Whitechapel's heartbeat. A true crime mystery that touched lives beyond the headlines. A historical mystery echoing the lost knowledge of ancient Egypt scribes. The investigation into the Ripper's crimes was a frantic, flawed pursuit, hampered by the era's limits and a city's panic. The Metropolitan Police, led by Inspector Frederick Aberline, faced a daunting task. No forensic science, no fingerprints, only witness accounts and rudimentary autopsies. The murders occurred in dark, crowded alleys, with victims killed swiftly, throats cut, bodies mutilated leaving little evidence. Police patrolled Whitechapel, questioning hundreds, from butchers to sailors, but found no clear suspect. The press, like the Star and Illustrated Police News, fueled hysteria, publishing gruesome details and letters purportedly from the killer. The Dear Boss letter, signed Jack the Ripper, taunted police, promising more deaths. Another, the From Hell letter, came with a human kidney, chilling readers. Many letters were hoaxes, but they cemented the Ripper's myth. Vigilante groups roamed, and Scotland Yard faced public scorn for its failures. The lack of a suspect, despite thousands of leads, makes Jack the Ripper one of history's unsolved murders. A true crime enigma that haunts London history. Who was Jack the Ripper? The first theory points to a local man, perhaps a Whitechapel resident with intimate knowledge of its alleys. Suspects like Aaron Kosminski, a Polish barber with mental illness, were known to police. Kosminski, living near the crime scenes, was committed to an asylum in 1891, and a 2014 DNA study on a shawl linked to Catherine Eddowes suggested his involvement, though the evidence is contested. Another local, George Chapman, real name Severin Klasowski, a barber surgeon who poisoned later wives, was suspected for his medical skill and proximity. This theory, rooted in true crime, fits the Ripper's elusiveness, blending into the East End's crowds, yet lacks definitive proof, keeping the case among crime mysteries. A second theory suggests a high-profile figure, shielded by power. Montague Druitt, a barrister and teacher, was a suspect due to his mental instability and suicide in 1888, but evidence is thin. Prince Albert Victor, Queen Victoria's grandson, was rumored involved, tied to conspiracy theories of royal cover-ups, but he was absent during some murders. Sir William Gull, a royal physician, was named in later theories, linked to Masonic plots, but these are fanciful, lacking records. This theory, steeped in intrigue, reflects Victorian class divides, echoing ancient Egypt's elite secrets, but its speculation leaves Jack the Ripper an unsolved murder in London history. A third theory posits an outsider, a transient or foreigner exploiting Whitechapel's chaos. Suspects like Francis Tumblety, an American quack doctor with misogynistic views, were in London in 1888, fleeing after arrests. The Ripper's surgical precision suggests training, perhaps a butcher or surgeon passing through. Some link the murders to similar crimes abroad, like Chicago's 1890s killings, but connections are weak. This theory, chilling in its anonymity, aligns with the era's global migration, yet the lack of patterns keeps it speculative, a historical mystery in true crime's annals. The evidence is maddeningly sparse. Crime scenes offered little blood, but no fingerprints. Knives, but no clear weapon. Witness accounts varied, describing a man in a cap or coat, blending into the night. The shawl DNA, touted in 2014, faced scrutiny for contamination risks. Letters, likely hoaxes, added noise. Police files preserved at the National Archives reveal diligence but no breakthrough. Like the Library of Alexandria's lost scrolls, the Ripper's identity is a gap, a true crime puzzle that fuels speculation across London history. The Ripper's legacy endures, a specter in popular culture. His crimes inspired novels like The Lodger, films, and games, cementing him as a true crime icon. Ripperology, a field of amateur and scholarly study, thrives with ex-posts debating suspects. In 2024, a new documentary revisited Kosminski's DNA, sparking debate. The case's allure, like ancient Egypt's enigmas, lies in its mystery, a wound in London history that won't heal. Jack the Ripper, more than a killer, is a mirror of Victorian fears: poverty, vice, and the unknown. Let's revisit Eliza, our barmaid, to ground the terror. Years after the murders, Eliza runs a small lodging house, her hands worn from work. She keeps a ribbon from Polly's bonnet, a reminder of lost friends. When papers name suspects, Eliza reads, hoping for justice, but finds only shadows. She tells her son of Whitechapel's women, urging him to honor the voiceless. Eliza's grief, though fictional, weaves Jack the Ripper into everyday lives, a true crime mystery that lingers like ancient Egypt's lost knowledge, a historical mystery that touches hearts across London history. What does Jack the Ripper teach us? He's more than a true crime to lead. He's a call to face our shadows, to seek truth in darkness. His murders, like Alexandria's scrolls, are a loss we mourn, a puzzle we solve with stories. The local theory speaks to community, the elite to power, the outsider to fear. Each shapes our view of London history, yet the killer eludes us, an unsolved murder that challenges us to question, as we do with ancient Egypt's mysteries, to honor those lost to time. In 2025, as Ripperologists probe old files, we stand on Eliza's shoulders, asking her questions. Will we name Jack the Ripper, or will Whitechapel keep its secrets? The answer matters less than the asking, for in seeking we honor the victim's memory. Jack the Ripper, like the Black Dahlia or Alexandria's scrolls, is a bridge to the past, uniting us with those who trembled under the same fog. His mystery is a flame we tend, ensuring its light shines on. As we near the end, let's hold the victims close. Their stars in Whitechapel's night, their stories living in us. Their neighbors, like Eliza, didn't know we'd seek them, but they hoped, trusting time to speak. That hope inspires us to question, to seek, to dream. So what truths will you chase? What story will you tell? Jack the Ripper is gone, but his shadow endures in every mystery we unravel. That London night, when I felt the city's pulse, I was silent. Now, I'd say the point is to keep listening, to keep searching, to keep remembering. Jack the Ripper is London's deepest wound, and though his name eludes us, their memory endures. What do you think? What does the Ripper mean to you? Have you felt the pull of true crime? The urge to uncover London history's unsolved murders? Share your thoughts in the comments. Tell us what inspires you, what enigmas you want to explore. If you're captivated by true crime and the shadows of London history, subscribe, hit that bell, and join us for more tales weaving past and present. Jack the Ripper is ours to carry forward. Thank you for journeying through Whitechapel's fog with us. Until next time, keep chasing the secrets lost in time.